Hello and welcome. It's Miss Piper from the Ellensburg Public Library here today with family stories and conversation. I am so glad you are here with me. Today I'm going to read one of my favorite books, and I feel like I could read this book over and over and over and over and over and over and over again and never get tired of it. Do you have any books like that? This is that book for me, and you might have read it already or have had it read to you. It's a good one. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. This book was written by Judith Viorst and illustrated by Ray Cruz. It's published by Aladdin Paperbacks. This is a paperback. Its covers are paper, as opposed to the other books you might see in the library. And we have board books, and we have hardcover books. Those are the ones with the very hardcover. This is a paperback. You can check it out yourself from the Ellensburg Public Library. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a Junior Undercover Agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I am going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible car. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Moya was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone part and lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top of it. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was. Because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week? I said. I'm going to Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot. And while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby and... While I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody. No one even answered. So then, we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, we're all sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as could be except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said, please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate limas. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas, and I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that. Even in Australia. All right, lovely ones. That is the end of Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day by Judith Viorst and illustrated by Ray Cruz. Yeah. Oh, we have all had days like that, haven't we? Which leads me into question number 1. Can you think back to a day that you had that was terrible, horrible, no good, very bad? What happened on that day? What happened to you on that day? Question number 2. Where do you remember where Alexander was threatening or wanting to move to instead of being where he was in that bad day? Where did he want to go to? Where would you want to go to? Do you have a place that you might like to visit instead of just being in a bad day? Where is that place? Do you think it would help solve any problems to move? Would moving to another place solve a problem? Alexander's problem, your problem, anyone's problem? Question number 3. I don't know about you, but it seems to me that maybe some of these things could have been avoided. Let's think about some of them. Sleeping with gum in his mouth, tripping on a skateboard. I mean, some of the things were just bad luck with the shoes. And I don't really like llamas either, do you? But maybe some of these things, do you think maybe some of these things could have been helped and he could have had a little bit of a better day if he had taken a couple of measures? If he had been more careful some of the time? Tell me what you think. All right. Thank you for being here. Have a happy day. Have a happy week. And I will see you next time. Bye.